And we should be live. Welcome everybody to another live stream repair. We've tweaked our setup here a little bit, so I finally snagged myself a fairly decent camera mount that allows me to put a couple of cameras on it actually, and they are clear out of my head's way. So we shouldn't be bumping into you guys so much anymore. And we've also got the close-up camera mounted pretty well here. Give you guys a quick sneak peek of what that looks like. Of course, it's a complete manual control, so as we move things around, we'll need to refocus it. But let's go ahead and crack open a beverage for us ourselves here, and we will start on our repairs. Yes. Okay, so who's up first? Michael G. Let's see. What you got for us, Michael G? Let's see. Believe me. Okay. Here is the first pod. And let's go ahead and plug this into some power. Check our symptoms here. So yes, indeed, no signs of life, no response, no lights, no nothing. Except for about 6 watts of power draw at the wall there. So what that tells me, based on how much power draw there is there, most likely we've got the same failure as many other HomePods with the shorted dial on the amplifier. Sorry, I was looking for my tools there. Anyways, let's crack this HomePod from Michael G open and see what's going on from the inside. Also, Mr. Matt, I cannot find any email correspondence with us searching for your name or the tracking number. So if you're Mr. Matt and you are waiting for your HomePod to be repaired, please shoot me an email and let me know that you were the one who indeed sent this HomePod today, and we'll get you taken care of. I did also find some of their information online, so if they don't find us, then we'll reach out to them based on what I found. See if we can't get a hold of them. So of course we're starting off here just by prying this top plastic piece off. And we're not actually prying this off with my tool here, we're actually just cutting through the adhesive and going around that until it basically just pops off on its own. Just like that. If we try to just pry that off with this, we're bound to scratch and crack it. So let's go ahead and get our screws taken out for the display. And then we will pry that out. Oh boy, this one's being feisty. There we go. let's just fix this adhesive on here before we move forward. I'd rather take care of this now than when we're putting it back together later. Not perfect, but it'll do the job. Okay. Let's get you guys a little closer here. Ah, there we go. Oh. Huh. I thought I was getting a phone call, but instead a car part that I had listed on eBay for like a year now finally just sold. It's the EGR tube out of a 1991 Nissan Maxima motor. Right. Oh, that came off very nice. Oh, interesting. There's also... Really? Is there actually like a grommet missing right here? From the factory? No. No. Unless it popped out while we were pulling this mesh off. I'll have to rewatch the stream when we're done, but seriously? One of these guys is just missing? Straight from the factory. Well, we've got plenty of those sitting around that we can replace the missing one. That's no big deal. I'm more just kind of shocked at the fact that they forgot one. Because it's not under the mesh there. No signs of anybody having been in here before, so... Time for the prize. Oh yeah. Give it up, give it up. Oh, couldn't have been any easier. Beautiful. Hey Michael, glad you could make it. And yeah, it's quite interesting. I've never seen them just straight up missing a part before like that. Woofer check. Voice coil looks good. Feels nice and smooth. And it smells fresh. So that is a happy little subwoofer. Here we go. Okay, so here's our amplifier. I'm just going to do a quick visual inspection, make sure there's nothing obviously broken on here. I can see our diode here that typically shorts out. It's got the usual suspect date code of 1746K on there. Everything else looks fresh and snazzy on this board. Let's go ahead and give it a quick test. Confirm that that diode there is indeed shorted out. Sure enough, that's our problem right there. Let's get that replaced. See if this board powers up. And there it goes. Let's put that diode into the dead pile here. Grab a new one. Here we go. Let's cool this board off real quick. Alright, that should be good. Let's see what happens. We're just putting together our assortment of parts onto this board so that we can power it up and see if we got it working again. Gonna get that multimeter connected to our subwoofer, so if this amp powers on, we can check it for DC offset issues while we're here. Ah, Robert Smith. So it was you who sent that from Matt. Thank you for letting me know. I was searching all through my emails and stuff trying to find Mr. Matt that had sent us a HomePod, but it came from you. All right. So I I actually tested that one for a few minutes before the stream here, and it booted up and produced sound fine for me, and it let me factory reset it, and that sounded fine too. So, bent Wookie. I don't know what a bent Wookie is. Bent woofer, maybe? I don't know. We'll crack it open here and see if there's anything that we can find obviously wrong from the inside when we get to it. Let me go ahead and update the text here since we know that's from you now. And I don't know, I'm just going to use your YouTube name. I don't know if you want me to associate your YouTube name with your real name and on the stream here, but if you are fine with that, I'll do that. If not, it's no big deal. I know who you are. Yes, so we've got power. Michael G's HomePod is fixed just from that shorted diode there. Same as many others. Bent Wookie was the eBay seller name. Oh, that's funny. Nah, I didn't see their eBay seller name anywhere on the box or inside. No, like, invoice or anything. It was literally just the box with the HomePod inside of it. And presumably the eBay seller's real name and home address on here. But I had searched their name and address up and found their phone number, and I was gonna give him a call after this stream if nobody else claimed it. But glad you spoke up before I did that. Oh, perfect. So Robert here is the Robert's name is actually Jim, and they had sent in a HomePod to us a few weeks ago, and they're also the same fellow that hooked us up with these super nice electric screwdrivers that have been helping us out with our repairs the past few weeks here. So, do we have any DC offset problems? I don't know. DC offset's looking like it's holding really well at just under 1 millivolt of voltage there. So this one looks ready to go. He was nice enough to drop ship. That's nice. Typically, when you're purchasing items on eBay, during the checkout process, you have the option of specifying where you want it to be shipped to, and it doesn't have to be added to your account. You just have to enter the address you want to ship it to, like when you're actually paying for the item off eBay. I've done that a handful of times. A few other people have done it. Generally, eBay sellers won't ship an item after you've purchased it to a different address than what you have when you purchased it. That's when they usually have problems, because then technically nobody's covered under any eBay guarantee. But if you put the address that you want while you're purchasing that's totally within their policy, and everybody's protected still. All right. Well, enough blabbering. Let's get this HomePod put back together. And my head's in the way. Looks like we're gonna have to adjust that camera up there somewhere else so it's not so prone to shooting my head. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they even did that for you, but that's nice of them. Oh, Jim, I meant to ask you, did the eBay item description or anything say at all what was wrong with it? Because I couldn't find anything obviously wrong. Didn't quite get to setting it up with my phone yet, but it booted up fine, factory reset fine, sounds fine, at least with the brief little bit of testing we had with it before the stream. Okay. So, basket. Good, very good. Oh. Did we really? Ha! I knew I was forgetting something in there. I knew it was a little hollow. And I'm glad I remembered before we wrapped it all up and confused ourselves. We forgot to put the power supply in there. Let's pop that in real fast. We'll just undo that little boo-boo. I wanted to make sure that you are aware the volume lights on this HomePod flash when plugged in. It does power on, but it is unresponsive. On Nick's website, blah blah blah. Interesting. Okay, well we're going to take that apart when we get to it and see if maybe there's something a little loose inside that's causing it to work intermittently. Interesting. Yeah. Doesn't that look a little funny on the inside? Like it's missing something. Easy peasy. This is Nick. Spam calls, man. And of course I have no way of getting back to the call. My phone is locking up. I just want to hang the call up. There we go. All right. All right. Plug this into power. What's a good stuntman? It's working.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app.
All right, sounds good.
I'm having trouble.
Show me what I want to see.
I'm having trouble.
Come on.
I'm having trouble.
You just did it. Give me those volume buttons.
I'm having trouble.
Give me those volume buttons. You just showed them to me. I know you've got them. I'll go ahead and open up Michael B's HomePod here while that reboots again.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh, I saw them.
For more info,
I briefly saw them come up, and they looked good. So they must have some sort of setting enabled that won't let us see those the way that we typically do. But I caught a good glimpse of them, and they are both evenly lit. So we'll set their HomePod to the side here. And let's get out number 2. Yeah. Okay, and then our text up on the screen there, Michael G to Michael B. Very nice. I'm actually going to change Robert's name to Jim because that's who that actually is. All right. Number 2. Let's plug it into some power. Check out what we've got. No response. And 6 watts at the wall. So, probably the same thing as the other Michael's HomePod here. Let's open it up and find out. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Time for the pry. Come on. Alright, woofer check. Looks good. Feels good. Smells good. Happy woofer. All right. Number 2. Date code of 1748K on the amplifier's diode. It's probably the culprit there. Everything else looks good. Let's check them. Yep. It's shorted. Let's get that replaced. Oh, that's a don't need that much on there. There we go. Just cool that off real fast. Don't get too excited, Mars. So really, I wasn't sure who it came from, so we weren't able to figure out even what was wrong with it, because it powered on fine for us. But it turns out it came from Jim, and Jim had bought it straight from eBay. And the eBay seller said that it had blinking volume buttons. But when we got it and powered it on, it seemed to work just fine. So we're going to crack it open and see if there's anything physically damaged in there that may be causing the intermittent failure here. Not too sure what to make of that, but we will see what's going on. Hopefully. Alright, let's get this powered on. Here we go. Booyah. 2 for 2 so far. Do we have any DC offset? Oh, brother, no we don't. Looks like we're holding relatively steady at around 5 to 6 millivolts of DC offset. Perfectly within spec there, so this one is all ready to go as well. So let's get it put back together. How did I do that again? I forgot the power supply. At least I remembered before we got it halfway back together this time. Goodness. Wow, well, this bit is toast. Is it? Well, it's fine. Let's see what we've got. Booyah, power. Cool, our power just went out for a second there. But our HomePod is...
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh yeah, it's up. It's sounding good. Volume buttons light up nice and evenly. So we've got that one all cleaned up. Let's set that to the side. And open up number 3. Here we go. This one comes to us from, I believe it would be pronounced Alexei. Not too sure, but it comes to us all the way from the Ukraine. So we're going to see if we can't get this fixed up for them. There we go. Let's plug that into power. And okay, let me double check the email. I'm pretty sure theirs was not no power. I think they had popping. Oh yeah, that's right. They had a clicking sounds. All right, let's take a listen.
I'm having trouble
boy. Yeah, that's a healthy amount of DC offset that I could hear from that pop there. Let's listen again when I unplug it from power. Yeah. Let's get that fixed. Probably we've got an unhealthy amount of DC offset coming from that amp there. Good news is it sounds like the bass speaker is still fine, so we'll be able to reuse that, and it just needs the filtering capacitors replaced to filter that DC. There we go. I'm going to move this camera over here. I just don't like it over there. You guys can't see my screws. Ah, very nice. Time for the pry. Woofer check. Looks good. Feels good. Smells good. Oh, all right. Visual inspect. Whoa. Okay. Right off the bat, I see a problem. Right there, you see it? That is what's left of the 10 ohm resistor that's normally here. This is what those normally look like. And it is completely blown off. So that's probably causing some issues. Everything else looks good though. Okay. Well, let's get that resistor replaced. Actually, before we do anything, let's go ahead and just pop it up onto the bench here, see how much DC offset we're dealing with. That's probably what killed that resistor there. Alright, no repairs yet. We're just checking to see our baseline DC offset here. Oh boy. Yeah. Yuck. Just about 400 millivolts of DC voltage being pumped out of that amplifier straight to the subwoofer and quickly growing. So that's going to cause death farts. That's going to fry your subwoofer, your resistor here sometimes. It's going to cause you all sorts of issues and heartache. So let's get that resistor replaced. And then we're going to replace the filtering capacitors that allow that DC through the amp and cause damage and issues like this. For good measure, we're also going to replace the Schottky barrier diode with a new one, just because that's the part that fails the most in these HomePods and causes the no power issue, as you saw in the past 2 repairs during our live stream today and hundreds of others. So, first things first, let's take care of our filtering capacitors. And that's going to be these 4 big brown ones right here. There we go. Old ones be gone. There we go. A fresh set of filtering capacitors to get rid of that unwanted DC offset. Next, let's move on to that resistor there that's very obviously blown up. I'm going to grab a piece of metal shielding here that I've bent into shape to cover this tall electrolytic capacitor and the plastic subwoofer connector there. Save it from any harm. Now, that's a lot of flux, goodness. Let's get that off. That did not take much. Granted, there wasn't much of it left. There we go. Alright, last but not least, that Schottky barrier diode that loves to cause no power issues. Let's get that replaced. All right. Let's cool this board off here for just a few seconds, and then we will give it a test. That was my finger. All right, take 30 seconds, folks. Grab a drink, grab a bathroom break. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. So, did we fix it? Let's find out. Here we go. Booyah! Look at that DC offset fall. We're holding solid under 10 millivolts. That's all I need to see. And we've still got our base. Our offset isn't growing out of control. I think we got this one all fixed up, folks. Hell yeah. Let's put it back together. All right. Let's see what we've got.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Beautiful.
I'm having trouble.
And checks out. Everything looks good. Sounds good. All right. We've just got one HomePod left here. This is the mystery pod from eBay that Jim had sent directly shipped to us. The seller on eBay said that this had blinking volume button issues. However, when we tested it for a minute or so before the stream here, it powered on and factory reset just fine. So we're not sure what's going on with this one, but we're going to go ahead and plug it in and see what it does for us now. See if we can set it up and play some music out of it. Alright, seems to be setting up without a problem. Interesting. Okay, so it's set up without a problem. Bonk. See if it plays music. Fine. I'm going to turn your guys' volume down here for just a sec so you don't get blasted. Well, it sounds fine. You could tell that it hasn't been used in a very long time because as soon as the bass hit, I saw just a plume of dust coming out from it. So that and there's no real reason for an eBay seller to say that something's broken and sell you something that works just fine. So let's go ahead and take this apart just at the display and logic board level. If there is anything that's causing an intermittent blinking volume buttons issue, it's most likely going to be physical damage somewhere around here in the cables, perhaps, or maybe the display. If we don't see anything obvious, then Jim's going to have to just consider himself lucky here, and he will have paid for a broken HomePod and gotten a good one. Won't stop us from digging into the amplifier board down there and replacing that Schottky barrier diode that oh so commonly shorts out and causes no power issues. But that's interesting. Sometimes, on very rare occasion, these blinking volume button ones will just start working again all on their own. It's very, very rare. But let's see if there's anything obviously broken from the inside that would tell us more here. Yeah, this has definitely never been taken apart before either. Well, I'm also curious what version of HomePod OS this thing is still on. It's still on 15.1.1. Huh. Oh, well, we got as far as we actually really needed to here to at least see if there was any physical damage. Everything looks good there. And by golly, everything looks good here too. So it looks like Jim here just got real lucky. Alright, well, let's go ahead and finish the teardown on this and do its regular maintenance here. Get that power diode replaced. Check it for any DC offset. And we'll send it back to Jim. It's not the first time this has happened, funny enough. If you guys have watched a lot of our previous live stream repairs, then you might recognize the name Eddie. Eddie has had at least 6 or more HomePods sent into the channel here for repair. And he drop shipped one from eBay that to us he was just going to give it to us for parts, and it had blinking volume buttons according to the eBay seller. Well, when we got it, I plugged it in and it powered right on. So, not the first time we've seen this happen, but unfortunately not the most reliable way to fix blinking volume buttons, of course. You know, most people obviously have already tried leaving them unplugged for a period of time and plugging them back in. I didn't do anything special. I just plugged it into power and it booted up. Hey, Meat, how's it going? We're just fixing pods, you know. You know what we're here for. Alright, that might be loose enough to come off by hand now. Aw, yeah. Let's see, will we be able to reuse that? Yes, we will. Excellent. What was the last pod issue? So, Alexei's HomePod from Ukraine had clicking issues. And when we took it apart, we found the 10 ohm resistor next to the subwoofer connector on the amplifier was completely destroyed and blown off the board. And a ton of DC offset. So the usual. Woofer check. Looks good. Feels good. Smells good. Always sniff your woofers. Smell those subwoofers. You are no match for my screwdriver. All right. Before we do anything to this, let's go ahead and just power it on real fast. See if it's got any DC offset. If not, then we'll just replace that Schottky barrier diode. Was thinking of getting a broken HomePod from eBay and sending it to you for repairs. Still waiting on the seller to see what the issue is. Is this a good idea? It depends on what the issue is. So you got to make sure, of course, that you're buying a HomePod that has an issue that can be fixed. Once you're sure of that, in my opinion, it's a great idea because I've never had a problem in over 10 years using eBay, getting my money back if I ever buy something that's not described. So what you can do while you're purchasing your item on eBay, during the checkout process, you can actually put in my shipping address for my shop and have it directly shipped there instead of having the seller ship it to you and then you ship it to me, I fix it, and then ship it back to you. Saves you a little bit on shipping and time. And you're still covered under eBay's guarantee so long as you provide my address during checkout. Don't buy the item and then message the seller after the fact that you want it to be shipped somewhere else, because that's against eBay policy and you lose all your guarantees and no one's protected in that case. He just responded, it doesn't power on. Sometimes it will and it'll get to reset but won't ever complete the process. That's a little vague. Like, it's just things, unless there's physical damage, it doesn't like intermittently turn on or not. Like power issues, generally it either doesn't turn on at all or it turns on. So that's a little suspicious. Sometimes it will power on and get to reset, but it won't ever complete the process. I wonder if it's like a sound issue, like it's just got no sound. Not too sure what to make of that. I generally try to avoid the ones with weird or unclear descriptions or behaviors like that. Generally, the ones that are repairable are the ones that just don't power on at all, period. Don't have sound at all, or any sort of bass or sound issues. All those can be fixed. Blinking volume buttons, boot loops, and other things that seem like it's a software issue, obviously we can't fix that. So, interesting situation there. I'm not too sure what to make of those symptoms that they're telling you. Do we have any DC offset? No, we don't. Wow. We're sitting healthy at just under 1 millivolt there and holding really steady too. So that's a happy amp. Let's replace that power diode and throw this HomePod back together. And of course you might be asking, well, why is he replacing the diode if it powers on without a problem? And well, that is the most common issue HomePods come in for, is this diode shorting out and causing no power. So regardless of what any HomePod comes in for here at the shop, we always replace this diode. Is that diode manufactured defective or just fail over time? So, unfortunately, we don't know. We don't know why these diodes are failing so often. But we do notice a correlation, at least so far, where all of the diodes with 1746 or 1748K date codes seem to be the ones that have always shorted out and failed. That said, correlation isn't always causation, so out of pure caution, we just replace this diode regardless of what date code it's got on there, just in case all of the diodes that Apple were using were part of a bad batch. All these replacement ones that we use are from a significantly newer run. So, without the board schematics and more information or insight from Apple as to like how many of these were sold with which date codes for these diodes, it could just simply be that they manufactured more of them with the suspect date codes because they just had more of them at the time, and there's nothing to do with like a bad batch. We're just seeing more of those fail because more of those were simply used. It's all just speculation. It could also be that the spec that they use for this part isn't up to the task. A few people have made the suggestion to try higher rated diodes, and I've got some on the way to see if higher rated ones work or if they cause any problems. We might be doing that moving forward. But there's a few guesses. It could just be that this part is underrated for what it needs to do. It could be a bad batch, or it could be bad design in the circuit here. Or it could be doing its job. Fact of the matter remains, we've only seen 1746 and 1748K fail. All right, let's throw this back together. Underrated definitely makes the most sense to me, but I can't shake how many of these diodes that are dead with those date codes and how many of them we've swapped just out of preventative maintenance that don't have that date code. It's a strange coincidence, to say the least. $41 for the HomePod. Dang, that's a steal. Even for a completely broken one, that's a deal. You could sell just the parts from it and make your money back. $34 for shipping's a little crazy, though. I'm not sure I've ever shipped a HomePod anywhere in the US, even with its original box, and the heaviest it'll be at around 8 pounds in the biggest box it could possibly be in. Never paid quite that much for shipping in the US. That's a lot. I think the most we've ever seen is like $26, $27, and that's with $300 of insurance too. It would be about $4 cheaper without that insurance. $2 to $4 cheaper. And eBay gives you, as a seller, eBay gives you pretty much comparable rates to what I get through Pirate Ship. Oh, but hold on, they used Priority Mail 2-Day from Massachusetts. So yeah, I could see that being a fair chunk of change. You were gonna donate for parts, but no, that's not the plan. That's hilarious. That's exactly what happened with Eddie's HomePod that he bought from eBay, expecting it to have the blinking volume buttons. And then it showed up, and lo and behold, it works just fine. Well, and what we're also going to do here, before we get too hopeful, we're going to leave this one plugged in overnight before we send it back, just to make sure it doesn't, break itself again by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. If it stays up and running for at least 12 hours, then I'll feel good about it. Yeah, honestly, it's based on what they're saying. To me, it's a bit of a gamble. Because it doesn't sound like they're terribly familiar with HomePods and what their expected behavior is. So it could be a hardware issue, or it could be a software issue, and they're just kind of trying to be vague about it. Really hard to tell. It would be a gamble. I'll tell you that much. It would be a gamble. But sometimes they pay off. Sometimes you buy what you think is a broken one, and it shows up working just fine. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking your guys' view there. Okay. He also says no blinking lights. Well, Hmm. Hmm. I do know that if the amplifier is having sound issues, then the logic board and the HomePod overall is just going to act real funny. Alright. Yeah, you're getting the full torque. You're getting the full beans. I'm playing around. Alright, do we still have a fully functioning HomePod after all that? Let's find out. Booyah, of course we do. What do you think? We forget like the power supply or plugging the connector inside in? Pfft, get out of here. HomePod is now up and online. We'll go ahead and get it updated for them here too, since we've got a battery backup that we can put this on too, so if the power happens to go out during the update, it doesn't brick itself. But it looks like...
I'm not sure I understand.
I'm sure you don't. Alright, cool. Volume buttons light up nice and even. And music still plays. Alright, folks, we got everything we needed to fixed up today. We're going to let this HomePod sit plugged into power overnight just to make sure it doesn't brick itself again. Got everything fixed up today. The usual set of no power repairs and a little bit of DC offset as a snack. If you guys have any questions about any of the repairs that we've done today, or just in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. I always first suggest folks that are trying to fix their own HomePods to check out my website at the bottom right there, nixfix.com. I've got a dedicated section called Common Issues where you can go to, find your issue, and the steps that we take to diagnose and repair those issues, as well as the parts that you may need and any specifications for those parts. If instead you'd rather get it mailed in to our shop here so you can get it watch it be repaired here on the channel, I've got my contact and mail address at my website as well. Hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Meet, good luck with that HomePod there, and fingers crossed, man. Y'all take care, and goodbye!